What's up, YouTube? What's up, social media platform? Cause whatever the fuck I'm posting is what I'm posting, right? I don't really care. But what's up, everybody? You know what I'm saying? I know it's been a minute since I posted whatever, and like I said, bro, I don't stress about this shit. Cause like I said, I post in my own time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking. I'm not like y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? Where every day posting is your fucking life. Nah. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't care about the social media shit. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just do it just to talk to y'all. After that, I'm done. I don't gotta do nothing else. But yo, before I even start this video, bro, like I said, I would like to sponsor Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm telling y'all, Cadillac is the one. It's the one every single time, bro. Every time y'all come to my channel, bro, it's always gonna be Cadillac every single time, bro. Like it's not gonna be not one time I don't say Cadillac. Like I said, it's those types of cars are made for people like presidents, CEOs, and big bosses. And if you're not one of those, nigga, then I don't think Cadillac is for you. You know what I'm saying? It's made for big bosses and CEOs and presidents. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, bro, we're not ordinary people. We out here doing real business. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would like to obviously sponsor Cadillac. You know, bulletproof edition, bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, I just think bulletproof is like needed. You need bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, you got people out here, you got niggas out here that they just you don't know, bro. Like there's so much shit. If you're a rich person, right? If you're rich, then you need a bulletproof car. You know what I'm saying? It only makes sense. Because you're not like a regular person no more, bro. Once you're up there with us, bro. Once you up there, bro, it's like everything changes. You know what I mean? So you're no longer an ordinary. You're no longer an ordinary person. You know what I mean? So you gotta kind of switch it up there, cause you can't. I mean, I don't think it really matters, right? But at the same time, like think about it, like I mean, whatever, bro. It don't even matter, bro. I'm just saying, bulletproof cars for me, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? All my cars that I'm gonna buy, it's all gonna be bulletproof. All of them's gonna be bulletproof. I don't care if I have a Honda. I don't care if it's a Maybach. I don't care if it's Rolls Royce. I don't care what type of car. I'm gonna have all the cars. It's not gonna matter. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, all my cars are gonna be made bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? A12. All right, because I'm just now learning the different types of bulletproof glass that exist out here. So you feel me? I need the shit that can stop big rounds, like 50 caliber. You know what I'm saying? Cause, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I'm stepping in. That's how I told you I'm stepping in the game, bro. I'm stepping into this game where everything. I got all the heavy equipment, bro. Heavy artillery. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care. I'm gonna own a fucking armored truck just because. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, for sure. And that shit looks good for the promotion. You know what I'm saying? Bro, niggas gonna see a big ass armored truck on the road. Niggas gonna be like, what the fuck? But yeah, man. But outside of all that, right? Obviously, I'll have to talk to y'all about a few things. You know what I'm saying? Just to get them off my mind. You know what I'm saying? And just let y'all know what's going on in the world today. First off, before I start any conversation, like I said, I just think that it's important that people do their research. You know what I'm saying? In the world where there's so much information, it can be hard to find out, or it can be kind of confusing to find out which is the right information and what is the wrong information. That's why I feel like it's called Babylon. We are, you know what I'm saying? It's like a modern day Babylon because you got people out here that's just saying any and everything, and then some of y'all really go out there and y'all really start believing that shit. And you guys don't do no type of research. You just take anything that anybody says and then you just run with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, 'cause like I said, it's weird shit to me. Y'all should be out here doing research and figuring this shit out for yourself. Like for example, when I hear people say that the police are basically like modern day Nazis and shit. I mean, you know, it's people just talking rhetoric, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, for any black person, mind you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, for us, at least I'm gonna say, like, bro, that's some weird shit, you know what I'm saying? I want people to understand that the police force in America is a diverse force. It's not like a one race of people running the government. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say the racist shit can't even work because the federal government, the government period is made up of people of different religions, different backgrounds, different races. So you can't say all the white people. I mean, I understand, right? Because back then, you know, America, that was white America at the time, right? White America wasn't trying to give black people a spot back then, but now it's different. It's not like that no more. You see what I'm saying? So when I hear black people say, oh, you know, the white man, I'm like, bro, y'all can't keep blaming the white man for everything, bro. You know, you can't blame the white man for your fucked up credit score. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame the white man for having, you know, 5 fucking, you know, babies and shit. You can't blame the white man for everything, bro. You can't blame the white man for anything, bro. It really makes no sense. I don't see how black people can sit here and blame the white person every single time, bro. It makes no sense to me. You need to learn to take accountability for your own actions. You know what I mean? Because like I said, bro, at the end of the day, nobody cares except for you. You know what I'm saying? You the one suffering. Everybody else in their regular life is just living their own life. They don't. I mean, everybody got their own shit going on, so they can't worry about you. You know? And so blaming everybody else is definitely not going to help your situation. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you get to where you want to be. So you need to get your shit right. You know what I'm saying? Stop blaming the white man for everything. The white man ain't make y'all do shit. The white man ain't stopped me from not going to school. You see what I'm saying? When I dropped out of high school, bro, and like I said, this is just like, you know what I'm saying, me explaining and expressing myself. When I dropped out of high school, that was my own decision. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm going to go back to get my education. I promise you. I'm going to go back to get my education. You know, I'm going to go back to get my high school diploma or GED. It don't matter. I might get my GED just because, like, you know what I'm saying? Just to show the world, like, yeah, like, you feel me? A GED, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You know, it don't matter. You can go back and get whatever you want to. You could probably go and get a GED and a high school diploma. Maybe. I'm not sure, but maybe you could. You know, but for sure, you know, I'm just letting y'all know that was my own choice. You know, I made the decision to stop going to school. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you know, there was a lot. It's more deeper than that, right? But I'm just giving y'all the surface level. The white man ain't do anything to me. He ain't stopped me from, you know, doing what I had to do. Everything was because of me. You know what I'm saying? If you know, if I would have went to jail or whatever the fuck, you know, that's because of my doing, not because of some freaking white man. You know what I'm saying? I swear, like, I hear black people say that all the time, bro, and that shit gets annoying. Like, bro, the white man ain't making y'all do shit, nigga. That shit is over. Those days is over, bro. We're not in 1920, you know what I'm saying, or 1930s anymore. We're not in that timeline, bro. So niggas can't say that. Y'all, black people cannot say white man no more, bro. All that sounds like to me is that I can't take accountability for my own actions. That's all it sounds like. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm one black person outside of the rest of black people that's gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell you all the truth. I'm gonna tell the world the truth. I'm the type of black man where it's like, yo, I'm gonna take accountability and responsibility for my own shit. You know what I'm saying? You have to, bro. You can't blame everybody else. You know, if your life sucks, it's because of you. Nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Your girlfriend ain't make, I mean, not even your girlfriend, bro. But at the same time, you know, like, bro, it's so much shit out here, bro. Like, think about this, right? I don't have no baby mamas, bro. I don't got no baby mamas. I'm a clean slate. So I'm fresh. I don't got nothing on my record. You know what I'm saying? I'm clean. Obviously, right? You got niggas out here that got 6, 7, 8 baby mamas, right? And they got a whole bunch of kids by these girls and shit, right? And the fucked up part is, I mean, you know, because this is all the dude, you know what I'm saying? The dude is doing all this shit. I guarantee you the dude ain't telling the girl that he got other girls out there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying it from a man's perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, you know, a dude ain't gonna tell another female that he's seeing that he got other girls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so you got, let me see, you got like niggas, you got people out here, you know, going out and they having all these kids by all these girls and shit. And you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, I don't see how that's really productive. I mean, it is, but it's not at the same time. It really isn't, you know what I'm saying? Because you might think, oh yeah, I'm having all these kids and then I could just dip and then I'm gone tomorrow and then she ain't gonna know who I am. No, nigga. Don't you know what time we live in? We live in 2025. All right, so in 2025, we got technology, we got cameras, we got all this shit to figure out who you are. And like I said, the hospitals, they're gonna figure it out anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna matter. But what I'm basically trying to say here is, look, them females, look, bro, they're gonna put your ass on child support. And if they put your ass on child support, your ass is fucked, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I'm seeing it, obviously, for me to be saying this, I had to see this shit happen to somebody else. You see what I'm saying? That's why sometimes it's like, we're like, if we see something on the news or, you know what I'm saying, something bad happens to somebody, we naturally say, damn, I'm glad that's not me. Just naturally, because, and especially if it was like someone did something stupid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be like, damn, like, shit, I'm glad that shit is not me, you know what I'm saying? Or you might, or something in between the lines of, you know what I'm saying? Because you're saying that because you're using your imagination here. Your imagination is at play. You're putting yourself in that point of view, and you're basically saying, oh hell no, I'm glad I'm not in that position, so and so, you know what I'm saying? Or like this could go for any scenario of life, whether it's being poor or in prison or having baby mamas and all these babies. Bro, you're literally able to see this shit from somebody else's point of view, and you don't have to experience it because you're watching somebody else live that lifestyle. So you could basically give yourself a safety net of like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't even gotta do shit. You just watch somebody else do that crazy shit, and you see what happens to them. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, it's all because of their doing. It's not because of, you know, somebody else. You know, I could go ahead and start getting all the girls pregnant, and I mean, it's not gonna matter. But at the same time, like, bro, like, you feel me? Me personally, I'd rather have like just one girl. You know what I'm saying? Just one girl overall. You know what I'm saying? I don't need like 3, 5, You know what I'm saying? I don't need all that shit. I need one. All I need is one. You know what I'm saying? One girl for everything. You know what I'm saying? I could have 6 babies by one girl. I don't need to have, 7 kids by 7 different girls, bro. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you have the money for that shit, then I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because then you're able to support them anyway. But I'm just saying I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather support one girl. I'd rather support, you know what I'm saying, all my babies by that one girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a whole bunch of crazy shit. You know? Now, Moses had 2 girls, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just leave it there. Cause like I said, I've thought about 2 girls before, having 2 girls, like 2 girlfriends or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, cause Moses had 2 girls, he had 2 wives, you know what I'm saying? So shit, it wouldn't hurt. But, that's just, whatever, but in real life, in real scenario, it's probably just gonna be me with one girl, you know what I'm saying? I don't need like all these other girls out here. But yeah, bro, I'm basically, like I said, I'm giving y'all a real game. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all this because, like I said, bro, like they not gonna the niggas that's out here doing that. They probably not gonna tell you not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like because I don't know. Like it's like once you're in that lifestyle, once you're doing that shit, you might promote it. I hope, you know what I'm saying? I hope niggas aren't doing that. For example, like, gangs and shit. Like, I don't see no reason why niggas gotta have gangs for, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand it. And look. We get the word gang even messed up. We think that the word gang is a bad word. The word gang is not a bad word, all right? It's just, what it's associated with, all right? So when you hear the word gang, you might think of black people, or black gang, or white gang, or Asian gang. There's a whole lot of different gangs out here. The police are a gang too. You know what I'm saying? It's just what they do. You know what I'm saying, in the line of work. But it's still a gang because it's still a collective people. You know what I'm saying, that work together to do something. All right. So a police is a gang too. The streets, we already know about the streets. You know what I'm saying? The streets got a whole bunch of gangs out there. There's so many of them. But the difference is that, one is doing the right thing, the other one is doing the wrong thing. Because the other one is trying to stop crime, the other one is starting crime. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, bro, like I said, I mean, I shouldn't even really have to go and explain everything. Like that right there is already enough. One is doing the right thing and the other one is doing the wrong thing. Whether that's, selling drugs, fentanyl, pushing cocaine, crazy shit like that, right? Racketeering guns, weed. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even care about weed because weed is not even, in my view, weed is not a crazy hardcore drug. That's not like, some crazy shit. I smoke weed, and bro, I'm still like this, bro. I can still talk. It's just the weed for me. It makes me see the real deep reality, the deep realities of the world. You know what I'm saying? Weed has, cause I used to be, when I first started smoking, I used to be paranoid. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was like, like damn, like this is like that's the real shit. Like that's the real shit. You can't get any closer to real. You know what I'm saying? Weed will, it makes you paranoid. It can, but it's all about. I really feel like it's really all about like like how long you been smoking and shit like that. Cause I feel like the more you smoke, your body just gonna naturally just be like, all right, like we past that stage now. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just smoking just to smoke and just chill out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Now there's some of y'all out there, you know what I'm saying, that can handle the weed, and there's some of y'all out there that cannot handle the weed. So if you cannot handle weed, don't even smoke it. All right. If it makes you paranoid, don't smoke it. All right, for real, because like I said, there's tweaks and everything, you know what I'm saying? There's tweaks out there for alcohol, there's tweaks out there for fucking weed, and there's tweaks out there for cocaine and everything else out here that exists. You know, people could tweak off of anything. It don't matter. Of course, the harder the drug, the worse the tweak, because you know it's unpredictable behavior. You know what I mean? But yeah, like you know. The two types of forces out here, you know what I'm saying? And when I was younger, I'm gonna be honest. When I was younger, I thought about. I used to think about. I'm not gonna say I used to think about joining a gang, but I've always, cause you know when you're young, you know what I'm saying. You want to find people that accept you, or you know what I'm saying, or like you just want to be a part of a group that, like you know what I'm saying, they got something going on. And this when I was younger, you know what I'm saying, like when I was like 12 years old, you know, 11 years old. You know, I used to think gangs are cool, you know what I'm saying? I still think gangs are cool because, I mean, like I said, it's whatever you got going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're doing criminal shit, I mean, it's not cool, but because once you get caught up, then it's just gonna be like, damn, like, you feel me? Once the police figure it out, that's your ass, you see what I'm saying? And like I said, if y'all got, you know, like crazy shit going on, like, you know, y'all niggas, you know, y'all out here killing each other and y'all pushing fentanyl or whatever the fuck, like I said, bro, that's your whole life literally thrown inside of a prison cell just because, you know what I'm saying, you got caught doing some criminal shit. I'm gonna be honest, doing criminal element shit is not good, bro. You feel me? And I said this for any black person, any Latino, you know, Mexican. You know, I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you are Asian. I don't care what color you are. Like you shouldn't want to do anything like that. You feel me? I'm gonna be honest. You know, if I was gonna be a criminal, I wasn't gonna be like a drug dealer or anything like that. Like you feel me? I would have been like a nigga that would have been working the fraud department. You know what I'm saying? I would have been like scamming niggas, like you know what I'm saying, like what you call it, bank logs and shit. You see what I'm saying? Like pushing like that type of shit. I would have been in the category of fraud, cause at least in fraud, white collar crime, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta hurt nobody. You don't gotta hurt nobody physically. You know what I'm saying? Everything is on the computer. You know what I'm saying? You know, I couldn't see myself hurting nobody, you know what I'm saying, and robbing people and shit. That shit is not me, you know what I'm saying? If I was gonna be a criminal nigga, I was gonna be a white collar nigga, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna be working on the computers and shit, you know what I'm saying, pulling 25K, 30K out of niggas' bank accounts. You see what I'm saying? But that's just me. But obviously, I don't, you know, I don't do that shit no more. When I was younger and I was doing dumb shit like that, and it was really just because, you know, I wanted to have some money in my pocket, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. You know? But yeah, for sure. I came up doing fraud and shit. I came up doing that type of shit. I know how the bank the bank checks work, you know what I'm saying? And how do you change the numbers and how you print this shit out, you know? I know how this shit works, you know, bank logs and all that, you know? Fraud is a very unique case because that's all just electronic shit. You got IP and internet providers and all this other shit. VPNs and Tor and all this, you know, crazy shit. You know? So yeah, you know, like I said, overall, you know, doing crime is not worth it in the grand scheme. And let me just tell for all y'all out there that plan on doing fraud or any criminal element, let me go ahead and lay it down right now, bro. If you get caught doing fraud, the minimum, the minimum penalty for, at least for fraud, you know what I'm saying, is 25 years max. You know what I'm saying? And that all really comes down to how much money you took, right? How much money you wired or whatever you did to get the money. The maximum penalty for fraud is 25 years max. So if you plan to go out there and do fraud, bro, just know the consequences. This is another thing, bro. Don't go out there doing something that you don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Know the pros and cons of everything. You know what I'm saying? And this is important. This is important because I'm telling you, I know there's someone gonna be watching my video, right? Someone's gonna watch my video, and you're gonna be in that line of work, and you know what I'm saying? And you might or might not know, but I'm letting you know now. Like I said, know the pros and cons. My fault. Know the pros and cons of what you're gonna do. All right. Like I said, fraud is 25 years max. All right. Now the judge could give you a lenient more sentence if it's your first offense, but after that it's gonna be stacked on years. All right, because I mean you're stealing money. All right, so it's literally theft every single time. You know what I'm saying? So you know. You might be able to get off by telling the judge, "Oh, it's my first offense." Maybe, all right? It's my first offense. You know, I won't do it again. But once again, you know, because you know they already got you. They got the evidence, right? So it's really up to the judge to make that decision if whether or not you're gonna be serving prison time or they're gonna. I mean, there's different types of ways they could do this shit. Because they could literally make it so that you can't use electronics no more. You can't have a phone or a computer, or they'll let you use that shit, but they'll limit your access. And trust me, the government is gonna be watching your everything every single time. Your browser, your search history, you know what I'm saying? They looking at everything that you're doing. So just understand that if you're gonna do something like that, just know the consequences. All right. You know, it's the same thing with like murder and shit. You know, when you got people out here that do robberies and shit, you know, and they end up pulling the trigger and they end up killing somebody, you know. Most of the time during robberies, a lot of people aren't during an initial robbery. Usually, it's not to go and kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? When you go in to go rob somebody, you're not going to go kill somebody, because killing or robbing somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's two different charges. You know what I'm saying? Killing somebody is a whole different charge. At that point, the robbery doesn't even matter because you're just gonna kill them anyway. So you know what I'm saying? They're gonna hit you with a robbery charge if you steal anything from the person. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna hit you with the main murder charge, and then once you get the main murder charge, it's capital punishment. You know what I'm saying? Capital punishment, especially if it's first degree murder and you did that shit intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, bro, murder is like it's capital punishment every single time, bro. It's either the death penalty or a life sentence. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be serving the rest of your life in prison. You know what I'm saying? So just think about that shit. You know, I watch a lot of true crime and shit, and you'd be surprised how some of these dudes, they as soon as they get into the interrogation room, and then you got the detectives coming in the room. And then once the officers start laying out the evidence in front of the person, they're gonna be like, "Hey, we already know. We got the camera footage. We know it was you in the car. We saw it. You know what I'm saying? We have witnesses, bro. Even your friends told on you. All right. The people that you committed the robbery with, they saying it's you. So we already know the truth. So we're just gonna see whether or not you're gonna confess up to it. If you're gonna tell the truth, and then you know the suspect will either, you know, because one thing I notice about criminals and suspects is like, I mean, think about it. You can't lie at all. You feel me? They got all the information. They got cameras on every street block. You see what I'm saying? You can't get away with nothing anymore. You know what I'm saying? When the people are always outside watching. You know what I'm saying? There's always somebody watching something. There's always somebody that's being nosy. Right? You're always gonna have a nosy person. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's for a good reason or a bad reason, you're always gonna have a nosy person somewhere from far away, or you know what I'm saying? Someone's always watching something, so it doesn't matter, bro. You feel me? You might think you're gonna go commit the crime and then nobody's gonna see you, but when you went and you committed the crime, they saw your car, they saw what skin color you were, they saw when you put the ski mask on, they saw when you got the guns out the truck, they saw when they heard the gunshots, you feel me? They saw when you ran out the house and you know, all this other shit. And they got cameras on the property too. So how the fuck is niggas gonna try to really run away from that? You can't even, you can't, bro. You feel me? Once the evidence is there in front of you, you can't even hide that shit. I can understand why they try to hide it, because obviously they're scared. Niggas know they gonna go to jail. But that shit it's over, bro. You feel me? That's not gonna matter once you in there for your first year or maybe 2 years. It's not gonna matter. So, like I said, you know, there's only 2 punishments for murder. That's the death penalty or life in prison. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and you don't kill nobody unless, that's why I say, bro. Because you gotta really prove self-defense. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really prove self-defense. You can't just kill somebody because, oh, they hurt your feelings or they hurt my feelings or, you know, so and so. You really have to really, you know, tell the officers that shit was self-defense, and then you have to prove it. You have to prove that it was self-defense and that it wasn't just, oh, you pulled the trigger and that was, you know what I'm saying? Now there's a whole lot of scenarios how that shit can happen. I'm not even gonna go deep down into that. But my main thing that I'm trying to say is, know the consequences before you do something. All right? If you're gonna go and commit a murder, know that there's only 2 punishments, maybe even 3. All right? Because not only did you kill somebody, right? So not only is it the police is coming after you, because the police are gonna use all their arsenal just to find you on the map. So by any means, even if that means posting your face on social media or putting your ass on the news or even putting money on your head, bro. Don't think that the streets is the only ones that put money on their head, that could put money on your head, bro. The police will do the same thing. They'll be like, hey, if anybody can find this person, we got $50K for any person that can find this person anywhere. If you could find this person and report it to the police, that's $50K. So just think about that type of shit. You know, it's not only niggas that put money on niggas' heads. The police and the federal government would do that too. You know what I'm saying? If they want you or if they want you dead, bro, they just put money on your head. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't just like a street thing. You see what I'm saying? Because the government will do it too. If you are a threat to the whole motherfucking society, and you're out there going on the killing spree, they might want you. They're gonna definitely want you alive for a fact. They don't want you dead. You see what I'm saying? When you out there doing murder and all that other crazy shit, they gonna want you alive. The federal government is gonna want you alive, but they don't have an issue with killing you either. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, If somebody in the neighborhood catches you or knows you, they're gonna report you to the police by default. So you can't even hide, bro. How are you gonna move around once the whole country knows that your ass is on the run? You can't run from that, bro. You can't run from that. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, and obviously like I said, I'm just, I'm throwing out the real reality shit here because I gotta make sure all the niggas, I don't care what color you are on it, I don't care who you are watching my video. I need you to know, if you plan on being a future criminal, know the consequences before you do anything. All right. One thing that I heard a murderer say, you know what I'm saying, and he was like, bro, he said, really think about what you're gonna do before you do it. Oh yeah, my fault. I wasn't finished up saying this. Either it's gonna be the police finding you. If it's not the police, it's gonna be the street niggas. All right, or it don't matter. It don't matter what color you are. Like I said, even if you're a nigga or if you're not a nigga, it don't matter. Someone's gonna find your ass, and if they find you, it's not gonna be nice. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not police, and police, just by default, they can't. What is it? Cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah, the police can't do that, but a civilian can. And obviously this is all in if this is all in if whether or not the police even find you anyway. If the police don't find you and somebody else finds you, oh yeah, your ass that's your ass. That's your ass. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, you're not gonna be able to run. You have a whole manhunt going after you. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, being a criminal, bro, it's just not really. It's not worth it in the end. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, bro, it's just too much shit. Going to jail is not cool at all, bro. The only people that think that's cool are other people that been to jail or go to jail. That's the only people that think that shit is cool. You feel me? That's why I said the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Because the algorithm says, oh well. You got people that like to go to jail, and then you have people that don't like to go to jail. They like their freedom. All right, I like my freedom. All right, I ain't never been to jail. I don't plan on going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because jail is not. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant for a person like me. You know what I'm saying? I have to be in an open space where I can move around where I want to. I can't be around in a fucking wall all day, bro. See what I'm saying? That's not for me. You might say, well, you're inside of a house. Okay, I can go outside anytime I want to. I'm not confined to fucking brick walls and fucking a big ass wired fence with electricity on that bitch and fucking razor blade fences on that bitch so you can't escape. I'm not confined to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I can move around how I want to. I can do whatever I want to do. I can hop on the game. Nigga, you in prison, you in jail, you ain't having no game. You ain't playing no game system, nigga. You better hope they got TV in that bitch. Cause they don't even got TV, nigga, you ain't doing shit. So just think about that, bro. Cause like I said, once you're in jail, you ain't got no freedom. Your freedom doesn't exist. They don't care about your freedom, nigga. You're a criminal, so you feel me? Just think about that. When you're free, you can do whatever you want to do. You can move around, you can go see your female, your shorty. You can go get money. You can make, you know what I'm saying? You can do all types of shit that you would not be able to do if you was in jail. So just think about that shit. For real, I know, and like I said, I always use the worst case scenario because, like I said, I'm talking to the future criminal. You know what I'm saying? If you plan on doing something crazy, bro, just know the consequences. Just know what the consequences are before you do it. Because you might be able to save yourself the trouble. You see what I'm saying? And you might be able to think properly and be like, okay, you know what? Nah, that's not even worth it. I can't. It's not worth it. I'm telling you, bro, not saying that there isn't anything worth killing over, but there are some things, but I don't think it's like, like it just really depends, bro, you know what I'm saying? So just know what you're gonna do before you do it, you know what I'm saying? Whether that's fraud, whether that's, scamming or whatever other crime out here exists, bro. You feel me? My main thing here is to make sure y'all niggas stay free. Cause at the end of the day, bro, like I said, they don't have no issue throwing your life away in a motherfucking jail cell, bro. They don't have an issue with doing that. You know what I'm saying? My thing is to make sure y'all stay free. You can't support your family. You can't support your girl if you in jail, bro. And let me go ahead and say this right now. For all y'all niggas that are in jail right now, that think that going to jail is cool, let me go ahead and say this right now, bro. If you're in jail for years and years and years, and you got a girl, you might as well just say your girl ain't even yours no more, bro. I'm gonna just say it. If you're serving a life sentence, nigga, ain't no girl, nigga. You ain't having no more females, nigga. You might as well. What the fuck is you gonna be able to do for her when you locked up, nigga? What you gonna do, nigga? You're not even gonna be able to hold her hand. What the fuck is you gonna do? I feel like people that serve life in prison, I don't know, bro. It'd be the most gayest niggas you feel me? Why would you want to risk your life, your whole life? Why would you want to be in a place with niggas for the whole rest of your life? Think about that shit. Why would you want to throw your whole life away just so you could, you feel me? Cause you ain't gonna have no females in prison, nigga, unless you make one in there. But you ain't gonna have no female, nigga. So if you got a girlfriend and you serving a life sentence, or you serving 60 years or some crazy shit like that, you might as well just say your girl's done, bro. She going to somebody else.